Leaders in Internet media and the American-made movement. You're listening to Internet Radio America. Tonight on Internet Radio America, it's the two-wheel meltdown. Mark Pavlik is in the house, and the call-in number tonight is 617-381-4700. And now, here's Mark.
Hey people, how's it going? Another edition of the Two-Wheel Meltdown, broadcasting live from the Baker Drive Train headquarters here in Hazlet, Michigan. Going to change things up a little bit tonight. I know you're used to hearing me with James Simonelli alongside of me. We changed it. We're going to swap him out for Scott. Scott Lerg, are you with us, buddy?
I'm here, man. What's up, America?
Scott is our West Coast sales representative. A few months back, we decided that we needed to branch out a little bit to take care of the West Coast people. And he's out in Arizona. What town is it exactly? It's not Phoenix. You're outside of Phoenix, right?
Yeah, I'm just outside in Scottsdale, but I serve the greater Phoenix area, Tucson, Las Vegas, L.A. You name it. If it's on the West Coast, man, I'm there.
And it helps us out greatly because we can now man the phones from 8 o'clock to 8 o'clock because of the time swing, or the time difference, I should say, of 3 hours. So, yes, you can still get a hold of us even after 5 o'clock Eastern Time, and Scott will be the one answering the phone. Our toll-free number here at Baker is 1-877-640-2004. How you liking it out there so far, Scott? Everything working out all right?
Pretty good, man. It's pretty nice to be able to ride a motorcycle all year round now. So, you know, it really hits home when you can do that every day. So, it's a good feeling. So, how's everything back in Michigan?
Oh, same old cold, crappy winter weather. You know how it goes. I can't say it's too crappy, though, man. It's been, 40 degrees or so for the most part, and it's almost Christmas time. So, you understand how that works. So you got any plans for the end of the world, coming up on Friday? You going to party or anything, or just hang out?
No, man, I'm going to be in the office talking to all the Baker customers out there. It's, I got stuff to do. We got work to get done, so there's no time to go play elsewhere. Or
worry about the end of the world, right? Customers come first.
Yeah. Yeah, customer service, man, so... Yeah, and then when the ship's done, it's motorcycle time, so.
Perfect, man. We got a great show for you tonight, folks. A couple of great guests in the industry. Our industry guest for this evening is going to be Dar Holsworth. He is the owner of Darwin Motorcycles and also Brass Balls Bobbers. Is that right, Scott?
Yep, that's right. They do... some production-built bobbers and choppers and stuff, and once Dar gets on, we'll let him tell us a little bit more about what they do over there.
Definitely will. And our featured dealer of the week is surprisingly a Harley Davidson dealer. I say surprisingly because a lot of Harley Davidson dealers aren't really open to the motorcycle aftermarket. Some of their employees may be, but this particular dealership, Hammond Harley Davidson in Hammond, Louisiana, is very open to the aftermarket, and they work with us very closely. And Tim Bouchel, the parts manager at Hammond Harley Davidson, will be joining us in just about 5-6 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to get to our tech tip of the week. And I decided
good one.
Yeah, definitely a good one. I decided to actually scratch... the tech tips usually, or so far, have dealt with, problematic areas in the motorcycle and how to avoid them. This week, it's a frequently asked question: which 6-speed is right for me? We offer a number of 6 speeds, but the two most popular ones are the overdrive 6-speed and the direct drive 6-speed. Now, these are for your big twin motorcycles from basically the mid-'80s up until '06. '06, the Dyna came out with their own 6-speed, or Harley Davidson came out with their own 6-speed on the Dyna models, but the FLs and the Softails in '06, they still can accept our overdrive 6-speed or direct drive 6-speed. Now, what I tell customers for the most part, the bottom line difference between these two gear sets is the direct drive 6-speed is our finesse, quiet, smooth, taking a touring bike across the country transmission. This one is not made for a lot of torque. If you're going to be a badass and get on your motorcycle and beat the crap out of it and you got a big horse motor, we would put you into the overdrive 6-speed.
That's right. And the overdrive 6-speed with those big torquey motors, we do offer quite a few different gear ratios for those customers with the big motors.
Yeah, we've got first gear options, some second gear options, and a couple of different options in the 6th gear overdrive. Now, mind you, being they are both 6-speeds, they're both going to get you about a 450 RPM drop at 70 to 75 miles per hour. So the overdrive is there regardless. It's just really a matter of what kind of torque you're putting out. And we say, right around 110 foot-pounds of torque. If you're going to get up in that neighborhood, you might want to start thinking about an overdrive 6-speed. Now, the one of the main differences and the main reasons for this, the torque difference, is the shift dogs themselves. With the direct drive 6-speed, the shift dogs are only a 1 degree undercut. Now, that's pretty close to what like your what we like to call crotch rockets, but the 4-speed motorcycles, they're even less of an undercut than that. It's a very smooth shifting, very easy to get into gear, but with that 1 degree undercut, it's not going to hold up to a lot of torque. Now, with the overdrive 6-speed, we undercut those dogs at a 4 degree angle, so they'll lock in much better. It's not going to be quite as smooth of a shift, but it's going to handle a lot more torque. You got anything to add to that, Scott?
No, that's spot on. The one thing, when you call in as a customer, we really need to know, all those good facts about your motorcycle and your riding style, because we want to get you the right transmission right away, whether it is the DD6 for the touring guys or the OD6 for the big motor guys, and there's a lot of differences between the transmissions, but as far as factory support, they both offer the 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty, so, so don't be shy at telling us how you ride, so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you like to race street light to street light and you like to beat on your motorcycle, and it's not necessarily even beating on it, you just like to have a lot of fun with it, let us know, man. Let us know so we can get you into the right transmission for your application the first time. We don't want you doing this again. I don't want you calling me back and saying, Mark, I got the wrong one. Send me the right one, and now I got to tear this thing out again. I mean, if you like tearing your transmission in and out of your motorcycle, hey, feel free to order as many different ones as you want, but we're trying to get it to you right the first time, and that goes along with everything we do around here. We're going to ask you a barrage of questions, and some of them you may think are funny, or why is he asking me this, but there's a reason for all of it.
Yep, definitely.
The overdrive 6-speed, as I was mentioning, we rate it as a matter of torque. They can handle about 165 foot-pounds of torque. So if you've got a big inch motor, let us know. Our transmission is not scared. It will handle it. And later in the show, we're going to talk about what transmission you're going to want if you're going to go above and beyond the 165 foot-pounds of torque. That's the torque box. And we'll get into that after our first guest. And it kind of looks like that maybe Tim Bushell may be on the line now. Tim, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Mark.
How you doing, bro?
Oh, we're doing okay. It's Christmas time on the bayou.
Nice. Do you celebrate Christmas down there just like we do up here, just minus the snow, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we had snow about 5 or 6 years ago, but it gets cold. Not cold like you all know, but I mean we've had it drop down in the 40s, and that's cold for us.
Gotcha, and cold for where Scott's at too.
Yeah, that's chilly.
So, Tim, tell us a little bit about what you do at Hammond Harley Davidson, and a little bit about the dealership itself, because you guys are kind of unique.
Yeah, we're a dealership that's been family owned and operated. The gentleman that owns the store, he's been a Harley dealer for over 40 years. So he's been there for the good times and the bad. So he knows what it's like to receive a motorcycle on a pallet back in the 70s and have to finish assembling it. We're one of two stores. This particular store is about 38 to 40,000 square feet. We're in kind of a rural area. It's an agrarian economy, kind of country, a little more laid back. The pace is slower. When you enter the store, you have a name, not a number. And we have a pretty good staff that still recognizes and understands the older bikes. We don't work on them too much, but we have a staff that knows how to work on them and assist people in acquiring the parts they need to keep the vintage bikes running. It's just it's a nice kind of sleepy town, laid back, good environment. And hell, we're just an hour away from New Orleans, so if you want to cut up, you can just head over there, and that's what you got.
Yeah, me
Nice.
and myself and Bert were down at Hammond Harley Davidson last year, I believe it was. We had a seminar to do, and when Tim says that he works with a lot of knowledgeable people, he definitely does, and very friendly folks. And Tim's position there, you're still a parts manager, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I am the parts manager, and then also I handle the rentals and the Rider's Edge. So those are two other things we have at the store that are opportunities for people to get into the Harley-Davidson family and find out whether this is the thing for them. So when I'm not helping people with parts, I'm trying to promote the benefits of riding safely and the MSF program, as well as running an authorized rental program.
Now, you were one of the key components to getting the Rider's Edge up and running, were you not?
Right. I helped in the initial pilot back in '99 with corporate, and we were the first U.S. dealer, along with Chicks out in, I believe, New Mexico. We ran the two U.S. pilots that subsequently led to the program evolving into, I think there's about 175 dealers out there right now that provide the service, and we've graduated over 300,000 people to date. So in terms of getting people into motorcycling and get them up on two wheels, it's a great inroad. And we all benefit from that, everybody associated with the motorcycle business.
That's awesome, man. Just totally awesome. And just about any website I bring up from any Harley-Davidson dealership, there's always a little link to the Rider's Edge program, and it definitely has grown. And yes, education about riding is so important. I've seen a T-shirt at some point that said something about guys always complaining about other drivers on four-wheel cages and whatnot, and they said, well, just imagine what you could do if you knew how to ride your motorcycle. So,
well, they have one, Mark, that also says for the ladies, it says, "I am not a backrest."
Nice.
And that's that's a big statement, and I think there's nothing better. I don't want to sound sexist, but I think it's kind of nice seeing a lady on a motorcycle. I mean, that does something for me. I hate to be blunt, but I'm putting it out there.
You and me both, brother. What do you think about that, Scott?
I'm not going to disagree with any words that have been mentioned.
That sounds very PC. That was well put.
So, Tim, I got to ask you here.
Yeah.
Sorry to butt in there, Mark, but says here you love to cook. So what's your favorite dish to cook?
Oh boy, I tell you what, I do enjoy cooking, and since I quit smoking, I done put on a few pounds. But my wife says I make a pretty good red gravy. I like making jambalaya and mixing it up with a bunch of different meats.
Nice.
And that's probably that's a staple down here. I love grilling fish. We get so much fresh seafood down here, and fish is a staple. But definitely the jambalaya and the fish are probably number one. And I'm not a big beef eater, but I like doing stuff with chicken finding different ways to do that. And with the emergence of the new economy, we got to kind of adapt to some of the stuff that's, I guess, a little less expensive.
Yeah, but, that's cool, man.
I had
pretty much anything.
I had Mark Bowler on the show. He's over in Mississippi, and he sends us some Cajun sausage from time to time. And I was telling him at that point in time that, man, oh man, if I could live here and eat that food every day, that would be the cream of the crop for me. I love Southern cooking. It's great stuff.
And
Tim,
you know what else is great too, Mark, is not to go off on a tangent, but we have a lot of stuff happening down here in Louisiana with some of the outside countries trying to bring in crawfish, and we're real adamant about having Louisiana crawfish, and it's supporting the local economy and buying seafood, buying food, checking the labels, and trying to get stuff that's from the United States, that's from the Gulf Coast, that's from the Northeast. I mean, that's so important in so many different ways.
And that's just what I was going to ask you about, Tim. I know you're a supporter of American Made, and this is Internet Radio America. Yeah, oh, no, go ahead, man. We're on Internet Radio America, and this station is all about American Made and American Made products, man. Tell the folks what American Made really means to you.
Well, I mean, to me, it means that you're putting back into the economy, as well as, you're supporting the whole, you're contributing to the longevity of this country. I mean, you're keeping people employed, you're putting money back into it, so they're receiving funds that they can hopefully subsequently come and spend at your business, and it's just so important. The 4 days for America, it's a great idea, but why does it have to just be 4 days? Why can't it be every day? Why can't everybody commit to each day just a single purchase? It's not that hard. I mean, when you go to Lowe's, when you go to Home Depot, when you go anywhere, look at the label. I mean, I'm not boasting, and I want to be careful what I say here, but I haven't shopped at a large box retailer that starts with the letters WM in 3 years. And
nice.
My wife and I broke the chains, and we support the local Associated Grocers. We go to a fruit stand. We go to a real old-school butcher shop. And, yeah, I might have to make 5 stops to stock the pantry and the fridge. But, boy, I tell you, at the end of the day, I feel good when I look in the mirror.
That's what it's all about, man. If you're helping your neighbor by buying his product, he'll help you by buying yours. And you're right, man. It doesn't have to be just 4 days, and it doesn't just have to be for the Christmas shopping season. No. When you walk into the store, just check the label on the back. If it says anything but made in this country, then choose another product, because there's 8 more sitting right next to it. And it doesn't matter the brand name; it matters where it comes from.
And I know there's going to be some people, and there's some haters or people who say, "Well, Tim, you're a hypocrite. You work for Harley." And well, yeah, and there are some things that are just not available in the United States, and I don't want to get into semantics and how much of the bike's actually made here, but there's some things that are beyond my personal control on a daily basis. I can't control who makes the T-shirts or the hats or some of the soft goods, but by golly, I can control where I spend my personal dollars. And what I do on my time, and don't get me wrong, we have a great product. I love Harley, but I understand that some of the decisions they make are for reasons that I'm not privy to, and I just do what I can with my dollars, and I continue onward.
Definitely, man. Hey, we only got about a minute left, Tim. I've got to get you back on, because I can talk to you for the whole hour, but Can you hand out our or Hammond's phone number and your email address there at the shop?
Sure. Our phone number here is 985-345-8381, and it's the email address is just parts@HammondHarleyDavidson.com. And I appreciate it. And if anybody's ever looking for a good time down here, we have that full rental fleet, and if you mention Mark or Baker Transmissions, by golly, I'll treat you right. I'll treat you better than right.
That is awesome. Tim, thank you very much for coming on, man. I'm going to get you back on soon. Don't know when, but it'll definitely happen, bro.
That's okay, friend. Anytime. Everyone have a safe and happy and healthy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
You too, Tim.
Awesome, will do. Yep,
All right.
Have a good one, Tim.
All right, thank you.
We got to get out for a short break, but we'll be right back with the two-wheel meltdown.
You're listening to Internet Radio America, Two-Wheel Meltdown. We'll continue right after this.
I'm waiting for a ride down the Tingle-Mangles Highway.
Can't seem to find the right size wrench? Are you tired of searching for the right tool? Introducing the Loggerhead Bionic Wrench. It's 14 wrenches in one. Any size, just squeeze and turn. The patented design produces a powerful mechanical advantage. Pliers and adjustable wrenches can strip the corners, but that won't stop the Bionic because it grips on all 6 sides. Simply squeeze and turn. American made and a proven winner. No more guessing. Easy to use. Adjusts like a pliers. The Bionic wrench is 14 wrenches in one. Everyone needs one. At home or on the road. With the patented gripping power. The Bionic grips them all. It's a gripping experience. Thousands of uses for the Bionic wrench. Makes a great gift for everyone on your holiday list. 100% American made. Lifetime guarantee.
This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Pointer Brand. Pointer Brand jeans, made in America, 100 years in business. Go to pointerbrand.com. Tuesday on Internet Radio America, it's Beans and Apples. Sax and Rowdy in the house to talk about New York and Boston. It's the sports. It's the culture. It's the fans. Beans and Apples, a special sports talk show between New York and Boston. 8 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday nights on Internet Radio America. Leaders in Internet media and the American-made movement. You're listening to Internet Radio America. All right, let's get back to the two-wheel meltdown. Take it away, Mark.
Yes, it is the two-wheel meltdown. And you're listening to us on InternetRadioAmerica.com, or maybe you're listening to us via the 4daysforamerica.com. You can also get to us with the Live 365 app on your iPhone or Android. That's what I use. I find it most convenient. Dial it up, throw it on the dash of my truck, and away I go. Scott, you use the Live 365 app too, don't you?
Yeah, I use it. Use the iPhone app, and actually lately I've been when I've been home, I've been turning it on in the just on the computer and letting it play. So pretty easy to get to. InternetRadioAmerica.com, or you can use the app on Live 365. So.
And the call-in number tonight, folks, is 617-351-4700. Anything you want to talk about, if you got a technical question, give us a call. We'll handle it. You just want to shoot the you-know-what, hey, come on, call in. That's what we're here for. This is the one chance that you get to talk to us live on the air. I know we get plenty of phone calls throughout the day, and you folks can talk our ear off sometimes. So give us a call while we're on the radio and let the rest of the world hear what you have to say. Okay, moving on. We have the Baker product of the week. As we discussed earlier with the differences between the OD6 and the DD6, this is our torque beast. If you're going to push the limits of what your motorcycle can do, if you're going to head over that 165 foot-pounds of torque, this is the transmission you want. We can do it in a 5-speed or a 6-speed. We can do it in right-side drive or left-side drive. Taking the words out of Bert's mouth, here's how torque capacity works. The center distance between the two shafts. All stock Harley transmissions and aftermarket bikes, they've got a center distance of 2.5 inches. The torque box has a center distance 20% more than that at 3 inches. The torque box can handle 250 pounds of continuous duty, and you better have one heck of a motor if you're going to push this thing, eh, Scott?
Absolutely. This is definitely, racing-minded. it's designed to fit in stock Evolution soft tail frames, or you could even put it in a rigid or custom built frames. But it is, trying to stay in the same envelope as a stock Evo 5-speed transmission. But this is available in 5-speed and 6-speed, and left side drive or right side drive. So it's a pretty slick setup.
And for the guys that are out there racing them, one of the cool features on it is the ignition kill, so they can go clutchless. And another great feature is that it's an N1 shift system. What the N1 means is that your neutral is all the way on the bottom. Normal shift pattern on bikes is first, then neutral, then second, and so on and so forth, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. This is neutral all the way at the bottom. So there's no guessing. There's no hanging up a neutral between your first and second shift. And when you're on the track, guys, if you're listening out there that race these bikes on the track, it's had to have happened to you once or twice, and this is the way to get around it. Anything to add to that, Scott?
Well, yeah, it's this transmission actually, when we just started designing this, it had a couple things in mind. We wanted to, really keep, like you said, to the N1 shift drum designed for racing. This transmission has short throw shifts as well, so it's extremely quick when you're shifting it. So if you're running either a foot shifter, you can even run it with an air shifter, but it's quick and smooth and gets into gear quickly. We changed the detent system when we used the automotive style detent, which really helps out for slamming it in gear. So it's a nice setup.
Slick system all the way around, and this thing is beefy. The shaft material that is used in this is a 9310. I don't believe there's a better steel out there than 9310. I'm not a steel expert, but and then the rest of the gears are the same 8620 that we use in just about all of our gear sets. So we've seen very few of these things come back broken, and the ones that were abused to the limits from guys that were purposely trying to break them. So
yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
Oh no, just no. That's absolutely right. It's pretty rare. We've come out with this right around 2006, and I can't even. There's not that many that I can ever recall coming back. So it's a pretty potent transmission. So.
Yeah, buddy, man. And still, being that it's a racing transmission, we know you're going to abuse it. Doesn't matter. We're still going to put that 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty on this beast, and give it a try, and let us know if you can break it. If you can, we'll send you another one and some advice for the next trip around. Even the cases on these things, they're all billet. I mean, you start out with like 95 pounds of aluminum, and we end up with a 16-pound case. So there's no part of this transmission that isn't bulletproof. So if you're the big motor guys, this is the way to go, fellas.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's set up, for a stock style OEM Speedo pickup. Another cool system that we did with it is a traditional Harley 5-speed just used one fork rail in there, which limits the width of the body of the fork that can ride on there. We did a 2-rail system so we can widen up the tops of the forks that ride on the rod. It creates a lot smoother shifting, and it's more positive. So.
I just caught myself doing something that Lisa told me not to do when I'm talking to the general public. I keep saying fellas. It probably comes from a former job that I had. We won't get into that. But ladies and gentlemen out there. But
yeah, that is true. Hopefully we get some female callers in tonight too. So
definitely. There's a lot of female riders. We've met a lot of them, and they're all good women. If you're on a motorcycle, you're okay with me.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, we got some time before our next break, so we're going to give some props out to a good friend of ours, Mark Bowler. He's been on the show before. He is rounding up some folks to do a motorcycle show, a rally, if you will. It's called the Great Southern Motorcycle Expo. It's going to be held on March 23rd and 24th. And yours truly, Mark P., and the other co-host that I got on the line, Scott Lerg, will be there to answer your questions and help you out with anything Baker-related. Oasis
Absolutely.
Cycles, they're located just outside of Jackson, Mississippi. If you need more info, you can give me a call or give Scott a call. Again, our toll-free number is 1-877-640-2004, and it ought to be a great time. You looking forward to this, Scott?
Absolutely. It'll be there's never a bad time down in the South, that's for sure. So get to see our buddies, and it'll be sounds like it's going to be a pretty big event, and I don't know, really look forward to going down there. There's some other big vendors that are supposedly going to show up, so it'll be nice to have a big entire industry presence there, you know. Nice thing about Buller is he does promote American-made products, and, you know, I can't imagine there anything being there but American products, so it'll be cool.
Definitely. And look at the flyer here. He spared no expense with this thing. We got the Budweiser Clydesdales coming. Napa Auto Parts is one of the sponsors. Got a radio station, Z106.7. And the great folks at Polk's Meat Products, where Mark is kind enough to send us all of our sausage from. Scott, I'm going to have to mail some to you, or we're going to have to get Buller to mail some to you. This stuff is incredible.
Oh, yeah. I had it there earlier this summer, and it was pretty good. And man can make some good food. Yeah, so it'll be a good show. As will the rest of our show. Dar Holsworth, we mentioned him earlier. He'll be on here in a little bit. So hopefully you guys all stay tuned in, and we can learn a little bit about what Dar does. So
definitely a great guy in the industry, and he's supported us for quite a while, and he's used quite a few of our products. And yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. So, Scott, have you taken any? I know you've done some bike riding out there in Arizona, but have you went a little rural? Out into the desert? Did you do any? Jim Morrison stuff and get some good drugs and head out to the middle of nowhere?
Oh, none of that yet. I've done I've done quite a few cool rides though, out desert way and up into the mountains, and it's a nice thing I'm learning about living in the Phoenix Valley is that there's so many cool places to ride to, and I don't know any of them. I just get on and take off and have a good ride. It's a fun thing to do. Clears your mind. So.
And that's why most of us ride. You just hop on, you pick a direction, and you go. And where you end up is where you end up. One of my favorite
exactly.
quotes. One of my favorite quotes. I don't know who said it, but you're not lost, man.
Yep.
All right. Touching back on a news story that we did the first week. It was for a biker bar in Illinois, Poopy's, which I made quite a bit of fun of, but come to find out, Poopy's a very cool guy, and he has custom toilet seats, and he still hasn't found his toilet seat, so I'm thinking about giving Poopy a call here next week and getting him on the radio station and seeing if we can help him find his toilet seat. Did you hear that story, Scott?
I did not hear that story. You're going to have to enlighten me a little bit.
He actually does graphics on the toilet seats in his restroom. I mean, these things are like,
okay.
I don't know if they're screen printed or airbrushed, but somebody ripped off one of his toilet seats and took it home with him. And I was trying to announce every week this, so whoever the convict is that ripped off his toilet seat, Poopy needs his toilet seat back. Give it back. Give Poopy his toilet seat back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a pretty interesting story you got there. Okay, Mark is telling the truth. I just went to Poopy's website, and there are a few pictures of his toilet seats, so, yeah, give that back.
Yeah, great toilet seat, man. Folks, you are listening to us on Internet Radio America. You can get here by InternetRadioAmerica.com. 4days4America.com or the Live 365 app. If you need to call myself, Scott, James, Matt, whoever you need to talk to here at Baker, You can also reach us toll-free at 1-877-640-2004. That's 2004, and we'll accept any calls right here on the radio station right now if you'd like to call in. The call-in number is 617-381-4700. We got a few minutes before Dar comes on. I'm going to have to readjust the schedule a little bit. It seems to me, now that I've done the tech and then the guest and then the tech and then the guest, I think I should just give my guest a little more time and less about the tech. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. Learn a little bit more about their ways, so it'll be good. We've got, like Mark said, a commercial break coming up before Dar gets on, but we look forward to him. And if anybody wants to call in before that commercial break, go ahead and give us a call. Like Mark just said, 617-381-4700, and we'll be here and ready to take your calls.
We got some pretty cool guests coming up in the following weeks. We're going to get Skeeter Todd from Orange County Choppers on at some point. I don't believe it'll be next week, but maybe the following week. And we've got Mike coming on next week and to discuss crankshafts and so on and so forth. And
hey, Mark, you have a caller.
Oh, really? I'll bet you that's Dar.
Mark? No.
Dar.
It's Lisa
Baker.
Baker.
Got a call coming in?
Oh, hi, Lisa.
Hey, Mark, how are you? Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Lisa. How are you?
Good. Am I freaking you guys out? You're asking for callers. So am I the first call-in caller to this show?
Folks, we have our first call-in caller, and it would be none other than Miss Lisa Baker herself, the president of Baker Drivetrain. Lisa, were you just calling to give us crap, or you got something to say?
No, I was actually calling to thank you guys for taking your time to do this radio show for Baker Drivetrain and for the industry, because I think it's a great thing. You guys are doing a great job with it, and I just wanted to thank you for it.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
so
Lisa.
sweet.
You're welcome. It's probably time for your break and time for Dar. I wanted to be the first caller, and I wanted to let you know that I appreciate what you're doing. I'll let you go.
Thanks, Lisa.
Rock on.
All right, folks, we got to get out. Got a break coming up, and Dar will be on from Brass Balls Bobbers right after this.
You're listening to Internet Radio America, and it's the Two-Wheel Meltdown. We'll be back.
Attention all animal lovers. This is Cynthia Gary, the inventor of Scratch and All. We know all animals love to scratch. Scratch and All is a safe, unique, American-made animal enrichment product that can be mounted flat on a wall or bent over corners. All four sides interlock so you can design a grid tailored specifically to your animal's needs, and it can be a supplement to acupressure. Go to scratchandall.com and take advantage of the celebration bundle. Nearly 11,000 sold. That's the word scratch, the letter N as in Nancy, ALL.com, or call 1-888-9-SCRATCH.
Wednesday night on Internet Radio America, it's American Made. It's a show about American products and American manufacturers. Hi, my name is Frank Rowdy Crumley. I'm the host of American Made. It's a show that we want to bring all Americans together to buy American products and create jobs. So tune us in Wednesday night at 7 Eastern Time for American Made, only on Internet Radio America, sponsored by 4daysforamerica.com. Leaders in Internet media and the American Made movement. You're listening to Internet Radio America. All right, let's get back to Mark and the Two-Wheel Meltdown on Internet Radio America.
Welcome back, folks, to the Two-Wheel Meltdown. This is Mark B., and we also have on the line Scott Lerg from our West Coast office out in Arizona. We are waiting We are waiting on Dar Holsworth. In the meantime, I think he's calling in right now. Dar, is that you, buddy?
Hey, yeah, that's me.
What's going on tonight?
Man, just driving home, ready to talk a little Made in America.
Nice.
Excellent. Hey, Dar, it's Scott.
Hello, Scott.
Long time no talk, buddy.
I know. Busy making.
What was that, like an hour ago?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to hear your voice. I'm glad you're on the show tonight.
Great. Now, are we on live right now?
We
yes,
are live.
We are.
Fantastic.
Hey, Dar, give our callers a little background on what you do there at Darwin Motorcycles and Brass Balls. This is an American-made show. Our listeners aren't all motorcycle industry related, so give us a little background on what you do, man.
Absolutely. We pride ourselves in building an uncompromising American motorcycle and use as many American components on those bikes as possible. Sourced here in America. Everything is made in our shop, made to fit. We are all about quality, and we are all about not only supporting American companies, but really showcasing American ingenuity with some of the great companies that we work with. And I'd be remiss if not to say we definitely are a supporter of our troops as well.
And that is awesome. Dar, you have been an American-made guy from the get-go. I haven't spent a lot of time with you, but I know you've been a supporter of this company, and we try to support you. And Scott's been, for the most part, your contact guy here. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Scott's a great contact for me. We hit it off because even though we build American V-twin stuff, Scott's the road race guy, and he likes sporty stuff. And we like to build a bike that's got a performance edge to it, so we see eye to eye on a lot of things.
That's right. Now, what is that? Tell us a little bit about that bike, your Brawler model.
Oh, our Brawler is a great bike. In fact, I'd say of all the bikes we make, it's the best all-around bike. You know, it's inspired by FXR geometry. And we give it our own twist, and so it's a great American sport cruiser. It uses the Baker FL oil pan under the tranny setup, and we make that to an S&S 111 or a 124, and we use a Delcron inner primary, Barnett billet outer primary, a King Kong clutch from Baker. I mean, it's a great powertrain hookup. And, the bike handles well. You can cruise across America on it, or you can curve up the twisties.
Excellent.
Sounds like a great bike. Sounds like something I should actually try out. I've never been one on the sport bikes. I've done my BMW Cruiser. I've done my Fat Boy, and I think that's the next bike in line right there. And all American made.
Great bike.
Awesome.
Not only that, but even down to the shocks. There's a great company called Suspension Technologies that builds a monotube type setup like an Öhlins, but they're American made. And so they custom made us some 15-inch tall piggybacks just for that bike. I couldn't have been happier. The only thing that wasn't on it had BSC carbon fiber wheels, but hey man, you can't blame us for that. They're killer.
Right. I know you're a big supporter of American made, Dar. Just give us a little. What's American made mean to you? I mean, how important is it really for you?
Well, I got to be honest with you. When I was younger, I kind of took it for granted, and it didn't. But as a business owner, especially going through this really tough recession that we've gone through, we have been affected significantly, and we've been fortunate to stay in business, but we've seen many other small American companies go out of business because they couldn't compete. They couldn't, they couldn't get their raw materials as inexpensively as, you can get materials overseas. They couldn't get labor as cheap as you can get labor overseas, and thus they went out of business. And so, first and foremost, I got to tell you, we are about quality because we want our customers to have a quality bike, but we are about American quality. And so when we can get it in America, we certainly want to, because not only, it's the engine of America, essentially. Small American businesses, I believe, are the engine of America and the backbone of America. And so we have to do what we can to keep that in place. So it's hard to phrase it, succinctly, because it means a lot of different things to me. Just being that I'm a vet, when you're fighting when you're a vet and you're fighting for freedoms, you're not only fighting for freedoms that we take for granted every day, you're fighting for the freedom of free enterprise, the ability to go out and make a living if you want, or to build something with your hands and sell it to someone else if you want. So it's a pretty big deal for me.
Yeah, and we know it is, man, and that's great that you're such a huge supporter. You understand where we're coming from when we talk about American made and how expensive it is to make things in this country. And a lot of people, they question us here at Baker Drivetrain. You know what? I can get an $800 transmission online. Why do I need to buy your $3,000 transmission? And it is tough to explain to them that we can't even make our gear sets for what we can't even buy our gear sets from our gear supplier for what it costs, for an overseas transmission, and it's tough, but some people understand and some people don't, and it's all about awareness and getting that awareness out there, and it's that's what we're trying to do here on this radio station and on this show, the Two Wheel Meltdown. And man, Dar, you've done a lot of cool bikes. You've had some recent success with the what is it, the AMD show? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I sure can, and thanks for noticing that. In fact, both of our AMD bikes featured Baker products. We've been fortunate enough that for the last 2 years consecutively, we've won the production manufacturers' world championships. And this past year, we did it with a bike called the Rocketeer F3, where the tank and fenders were machined from solid blocks of billet aluminum. The powertrain was an S&S shovelhead, 103 high compression motor with a Baker four-function tranny, and the Baker 2.4 synchronous drive primary. Last year, we won the World Championships with a bike we call our American Muscle bike that we built in conjunction with Bobby Rahal. And we did that to support the troops. That bike got raffled to support Post for Vets. But it had an S&S 132 X-Wedge motor, and it had the form function enclosed primary from Baker, the King Kong clutch from Baker, and then a Baker 6-speed tranny. So that bike was a screamer.
You don't like us or anything, do you?
As a matter of fact, I was going to tell Scott, if he could, while we're on, could save me a phone call tomorrow. Scott, would you put another synchronous primary on order for me, pal?
Yeah, we can put that in.
We actually just sold it. You know what we did? We sold a bike duplicate to our World Championship bike to a guy in China. So we're actually spreading Americana that way. So we're pretty happy about that, trying to get some of our money back.
Yeah, let's take all our money back.
Definitely. We've had two firsts on this show already. We got our first caller, who happened to be the owner of the company, Lisa Baker, and now we just made our first sale on the radio show. So, round of applause, claps. I made a clapping sound. There we go. There you go. Scott, you got anything for Dar, man? He's one of your big customers. Any questions for him?
Yeah. Just, maybe you didn't really touch on it too much, Dar, but I know you do actually sell parts too. So you manufacture parts there and you sell parts as well. So maybe you could tell the listeners a little bit about that.
We sell a little bit of parts. We've been over the last several years, we focused so much on the bikes, and what's given credibility to our bikes is to use other people's really good parts. For instance, a Baker transmission, and so we've sold other people's parts on our website, but we're starting to get some of our own parts, and I'm actually developing a line of parts. So we hope to release in the first quarter of 2013 that are our own parts that will be made in America. Some of them in our shop personally, and then some of them in a shop down the street that has larger machining capabilities than we do. But it will all be made in America, and it'll be cool.
Excellent.
There won't be any LED flashing purple strobe lights on it, and there won't be any tassels, but it will be machined 6061 T6 billet aluminum.
Excellent. Well, that's cool. Any teasers on what we might get to look forward to?
It's just the general stuff. There's some really trick stuff that we would like to do, but the reality is the market for the trick stuff is not as big as the market for everyone who wants a cool set of grips or everyone who wants a cool set of floorboards. So essentially we're just going to do the general stuff that you see other people doing, but we're going to do our own. We'll do an air cleaner. We've got it, and these are things we already have in the works. A couple of different sets of signature grips, signature floorboards. We've developed, and we've never seen this done before, not saying it hasn't been done before, but a cool little VOES cover. You know what that is?
Okay.
VOES?
I know what that is. You should explain that to the listeners, though.
Audience. So the VOES is a vacuum. What does that stand for? VO, vacuum, oxygen, E, electronic system, I think. Anyway, essentially it's a vacuum that helps with the timing of the bike. Is that right, Scott? The timing of the bike?
Yeah, it's a vacuum-operated electrical switch. So
there you go, switch. So anyway, but it's just an ugly little doodad. It sits on between the top of the two rocker boxes, and so we created a really nice little billet housing for it that we had on our World Championship bike, and we put on a couple other bikes. So we're gonna make that available. Like I said, grips, foot pegs, air cleaner, some cool lights. I will tell you a teaser that we might do. Don't know if we're going to do it, but it's looking good. We've been in contact with Helio Castroneves, 3-time Indy 500 champion, and about our recycle. We've got a Recycle for the Troops program where we take a vintage bike and we restore it and give it to a soldier for free. And he likes that and our support of the troops. So if our program goes with him, we're going to give away one bike to a soldier, and then we're going to develop a brand new bike. And that brand new bike, we'll do two of them. One that will be auctioned off at a high-profile event to raise money for Pros for Vets. The other would be Helio's personal bike, but it will go on tour with us, and anyone who sponsors the project would be able to use it over the next 12 months. And
very cool.
I'm thinking of that bike being a combination of our last two World Championship bikes. And what I mean by that is it would be similar to the RLX in terms of its American Cafe Racer. It would be a little bit smaller, using a smaller, narrow, better fitted motor like the Sportster race motor from S&S. but the entire body, front to back, would be machined in 1 or 2 pieces of billet aluminum, like our Rocketeer.
Wow. Very cool.
That's awesome.
That's my dream hope project for next year.
That's what America is built on, dreams, man. So it's all good.
And then that would be presented at the Indy 500 this coming year.
That sounds great. Dar, we've got just a couple minutes left here, man, before we got to let you go. Can you give out your phone number and email address in case, the customers want to get a hold of you, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. Our best way to email us is evolve@darwinmotorcycles.com. And then our website is just, darwinmotorcycles.com, or they can get to us through brassballcycles.com, either one of those. And a phone number is 405-270-0995.
Awesome. We really appreciate you being on, Dar, and we're going to get you on again. I can't guarantee exactly when, but as the schedule builds up, we'll slot you back in, man.
Hey, thanks. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. Merry Christmas to you both, everybody at Baker,
well, thank you.
the entire country. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those suffering, all kinds of suffering in this world. So, let's have a nice holiday season.
Thank you, Dar.
Great.
Dar Holsworth, ladies and gentlemen, Brass Balls, Bobbers, and Darwin Motorcycles. Good guy. He's obviously an American supporter and has been a Baker supporter for quite a few years now, and we really appreciate him. Folks, we only got a couple of minutes left. I can't accept a caller if one comes in. Scott, any parting thoughts, bud?
Let's tell, I know we don't have it completely nailed down yet, but maybe a sneak peek into next week's show and let the listeners know what's going on.
Yeah, next week is pretty much the same old show, buddy, but we do have a dealer lined up. Mike, I cannot remember what the name of the company is. This is James's guy. Let me see if I can read this. Of course I can. It's Trish's already writing. But he's big into performance and crankshafts, and he's going to discuss our attitude adjuster manual chain tensioner a little bit and the benefits of that. So that's going to be really exciting. We're going to try and get Skeeter Todd nailed down. If he's not going to happen next week, it'll probably be the following week. It'll be an exciting show all the way around, just like normal. And you can, again, listen on the 4daysforamerica.com, which will lead you to the Internet Radio America, or you can go directly to internetradioamerica.com, or download the Live 365 app on your iPhone or Android, and catch this show every Wednesday from 6 to 7. It's the Two-Wheel Meltdown, broadcasted live from Baker Drivetrain, both the home base and the Baker Drivetrain West, where Scott is. And as always, you can contact us at 1-877-640-2004. We are here from 8 to 5 in Michigan, and Scott is there from 5 to 8 out on the West Coast.
That's right. Actually, well, all day. You can reach me all day, 11 to 8. So, but yeah. So it doesn't look like any callers coming in tonight?
Not the first time, but, when you only got 50 listeners out there, and got to start somewhere, right?
Yep. Well, we'll have lots to talk about next week with coming after the holiday weekend coming up, and maybe we can talk a little about New Year's plans for everyone. How to celebrate New Year's in America.
Yeah, definitely, man. And we're also open between Christmas and New Year's. The 26th, 27th, and 28th, we're going to have a skeleton crew here, but we will be able to service you on the phones and maybe get some stuff shipped out to you. if it's an emergency situation. So don't be afraid to call us between Christmas and New Year's. Okay, folks, we got to get out of here. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for joining me, man.
Yep, have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, Phil. This has been the Two Wheel Meltdown.